Hi there, it's great to see you again. Did you find the workshop all right? Okay, great. I know, Christmas Village can be a bit confusing. There's just so many buildings and so many colors involved. I mean, yeah. Well, yeah, we do have the distinction of there's approximately 52 different paint colors that are used on all of the various buildings here, so yeah. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to offer you kind of a rare behind-the-scenes look at the toy workshop. We'll be visiting about 4 different departments, and just so you can kind of get an inside look at everything. And yeah, definitely. I wanted to show you the lobby first, though. This is the lobby of the toy workshop, and you'll notice on the walls here are the most popular toy from every year for the past century. So yeah, you'll notice beneath the toy is the year that it was the most popular, and the oldest toy there from the first year, of course, that was before color photography, so you'll find they're all hand-painted pictures, and it's just simply marvelous. Those are my favorite, actually. And yeah, that's the welcome desk right there. That's Sharon. Hi, Sharon. She's been with us for approximately 152 years. She's been working at the Welcome Center here, so she's very experienced. If throughout the course of your stay here you have any questions about the workshop or toys in particular, she's definitely the one to ask because she's very knowledgeable. Okay, so we're going to head down this corridor here, and the first department we'll be visiting is the doll manufacturing department, and it's quite unique. As you can see, on the wall there are all of the dolls that we currently make, and there's about 45 of them. And we create approximately 500,000 dolls and action figures here per year in this center. Of course, if the child asks for a Barbie or Disney figurine, we have to purchase those as we don't own the necessary rights. We actually tried to obtain them about 25 years ago, but the negotiations fell through and it was a bit of an ugly mess, so we don't have the trademark license to make those particular dolls, so we have to go and buy them in the department store or online and have them shipped here so that we can then deliver them on Christmas Eve night. Yeah, there are about 320 workers in this department. All of them are, of course, very experienced elves. You'll notice in all of the various departments that we have, all of the elves are very skilled at what they do. They have very nimble fingers often, so they're perfectly suited for this line of work for toy development and toy creation. So, yeah, definitely. Okay, so we're going to be heading to the next department, which is the wooden toy department. Do you have any questions about the doll department first? No? Okay, yeah. Feel free to ask me any questions that you may have as we go along. Definitely. Okay, so this is the wooden toy department. All of the toys nowadays are actually made with post-consumer materials so that we can have a minimal impact upon the environment. There are only around 53 craftsmen who work here in this department, but they take shifts, so toy manufacturing here is done round the clock. Each year there's a theme, which many people don't know about. This year's theme is a nautical theme, so you'll notice that a majority of the toys are painted in either blues or greens, and they're all of a seafaring nature, such as boats or submarines. So yeah, that's a little known fact that a lot of people just aren't aware of. So even if it's not directly sea-related, such as a boat, it will be of a color scheme of that nature. So it's quite interesting. We try to stick to a theme, that way the craftsman can be a bit more inspired about what they're making and stick to one particular idea. It just works out better that way. Santa actually integrated that plan about, I'd say about 75 years ago, give or take a year. So, yeah. So do you have any questions about the wooden toy department? Well, yeah, we actually have all the lumber brought in from the surrounding woods, and of course from recycled materials, if at all possible. Rarely do we actually have it brought in from the nearby forest, just because we feel it's too significant of an impact. But if we do, what we do is for every one tree we cut down, we plant 3. So that's kind of the rule, and we stick to that rule very staunchly. Okay, so you ready to move on to the next room? Great. Right, so it's just down this corridor right here. Yeah, it is rather amazing because the outside of this building doesn't appear to be very large, but when you step inside, it seems as though every room, every department is absolutely enormous. So it's kind of deceiving, I know. All right, this is the clothing department. There are only about 32 people working in this department because this is simply not as popular as it once was, for the simple fact that children, they kind of rather dread getting clothes for Christmas these days. Unfortunately, Mrs. Claus actually used to oversee this section of the workshop. She made these gorgeous handmade sweaters, and she crocheted them herself, and they were just absolutely amazing. Many of which were the likes of, I'm sure you've never seen. It was just breathtaking. But she doesn't do that anymore. She stopped a few years back, and she's handed all of her duties over to Mrs. Petal. Yeah, who's sitting right there. She's actually the overseer now. She kind of manages the clothing line that we have. And, well, yeah, of course, a lot of kids these days like the brand names, and we have to purchase those, but there's still the odd child, not the odd child, but occasionally there's a child who likes just hand-knitted items, so that's really nice. Okay, we're going to go, actually I lied, there's 2 different departments. There's a total of 5 I'm going to show you. This is our gift wrapping room that I'm going to be showing you next. And the gift wrapping room is the busiest department without a doubt. It's a bit hectic, and I try to avoid it if at all possible. I like the sounds of presents being wrapped, which is, I know, a bit strange for some people, but I love it. But sometimes it just gets a bit overwhelming in there. There's a bunch of bows flying around, and it's just chaotic. We go through approximately 1 million yards of wrapping paper per year, and as of late we've also been using gift bags quite often. Although I have to say that's against Santa's better judgment. He's never been a fan of gift bags, simply for the fact that the items can fall out of the bag while they're in transit. But we've kind of figured out a way to secure them in there. But yeah, Mrs. Claus isn't a big fan of it either. But we've managed to kind of convince them just to try it out for a few years to see how it goes. We also go through about 200,000 of those bags, of the gift bags. So I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think last year it was about 225,000. Of course, that also means tissue paper, but we try to economize, and we use only 1 sheet per gift. So yeah. Another interesting fact is that we use approximately 2 million gift bows. Yeah, well, we don't put gift bows on all presents. Yeah, just certain ones. On larger ones we don't, and on extra small ones we don't. We just put them on the ones that are kind of fall into a certain range. And we use about 3 million yards of ribbon. So the ones that don't get the bows basically get the ribbon. We have a whole guidebook, believe it or not, a whole kind of handbook on exactly what to use and how many yards of paper you should use for a particular gift, or it's just very complicated. I worked in the wrapping department when I first started out, which was many moons ago, but I just didn't have a knack for it just because it was so hustle and bustle. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to be showing you our last room now, and this is this room is still used, believe it or not. It's our coal packaging department. So yeah, you know how the story goes. If you're naughty, you get coal. If you're nice, you get a present. So we do still enact this policy, but very rarely. The child has to have approximately 25 offenses per year, serious offenses, in order to be just given coal. So yes, and there's a whole procedure to that as well. It has to be verified by a committee. The particular offenses have to be analyzed and assessed, and of course Santa has the final say. So he's quite lenient when it comes to the behavior of children. So 9 times out of 10 he'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but if it's just a child who is particularly troublesome, they will receive a package of coal, which of course is not ideal. But now usually when we do give them coal, it's accompanied by a note directly from Santa, because he feels that he does need to have some kind of explanation for why they are not getting the gift that they asked for. And he's even very sweet in those letters. So I know that Mrs. Claus has had to get after him a couple of times because he's almost been too lenient with them, but he explains it in detail, and he lets them know that they will get a chance next year to get that gift, that the slate is wiped clean in most cases, but that they do have to behave. So yeah. Would you like to see the list of elephant room? All right, well, I'm not supposed to take anybody there, but I'll sneak you in. We have a corridor off to the side of the viewing room that has a little window, and I can show you everything from there, but I can't actually take you into the main room. Okay, just follow me then. We'll be quick about it. Okay, so here's the main window. I'm going to kind of lower my voice just because I don't want to kind of draw attention to ourselves. So as you'll notice there, the list is very long. Now this is the room that has the secondary list. The main list is stored elsewhere in a secure location. This is the secondary list, and essentially on one side of it you see all the naughty, and on the other side is all the nice children. And at any time the list can be altered in order to reflect a child's behavior, of course. Yeah, it's all color coded and alphabetized. Well, we were thinking about updating it technology-wise, just because of all the technological advancements that we could kind of incorporate, but really Santa likes it done this way. He's kind of old-fashioned when it comes to things like this, so we've stuck with this, and it seems to be working still, so I guess if it isn't broken, don't fix it, right? So, yes, Santa actually views the list about once a week. He has a review council, and they all sit and kind of assess everything and make sure all the procedures are being followed, and that the monitoring procedures that we have in place are still effective and that sort of thing. So he's very involved in the process, definitely. Okay, well, let's go ahead and make our way back to the exit so we can get out of here before I get in trouble. Before I end up on the naughty list, right? Okay, so did you enjoy your tour? I know, I wish I could have shown you a few other rooms, but it's just so busy this time of year that it just would have been nearly impossible. Yeah, this is supposed to be a relaxing tour, right? So I don't want to stress you out with a bunch of hustle and bustle. So yeah, it was not a problem at all, and it was so great seeing you again. It's always a pleasure. And be on the lookout for me around the village. I'll be, running around like a crazy person just trying to get last minute things ready. But if you have any questions, just stop me and I'll be more than happy to help you. Okay? Okay, great.